The event that we had yesterday, the game. Do you know what game I'm talking about? You don't know. Let me just show you quickly, yeah, before we actually kick off the conversation properly. And I'm sure you will like it. Give me a second. I'm just gonna load it. So where is the game? Here it is. Let me just show you that. Have a look at that. Okay, that was just a short clip of what happened yesterday. Obviously, Springbok, they came from 9 behind just to beat England. So that's a tremendous achievement for them. So congratulations to the Springbok of South Africa. I had a lot of people from South Africa sending me videos of joy, excitement. We're very, very happy about them. Yeah, and that's great. Yep. And South Africa. So South Africa, they definitely were in the news, and I'm already planning to talk about them today. Yeah, it's not because of the game, right? So yeah, I love rugby, but it wasn't for that. It's simply because what happened this week is South Africa has actually officially given a green light for the green hydrogen's commercialization. And I thought that's something that is worth discussing, right? Excellent. So, good morning, everybody. So, if you don't know me, my name is Tony Chiu. I'm the founder CEO of Renewables in Africa, and we are your global clean energy champion. What does it mean? Very simple. We demystify the renewable energy sector for you. All those questions around that, we want to make sure that it's easy, simple for you to connect and to understand what we are talking about, right? Excellent. So, what really happened in South Africa? So, I definitely want to talk to you about that. But before I jump into that, let me just ask you, have you already subscribed to our channel? If that's not the case, what are you waiting for, right? So, we actually broadcast for 5 platforms, right? So, we have LinkedIn, we have YouTube, we have Facebook, we have Telegram, we have, I was going to say Twitter, but it's X now, right? So, it's X. So, whichever platform you fancy, I want you to connect to that. And just to obviously look at what we're doing, give us your opinion, whether you like it, you do not like it, how can we improve, and we'll be very happy to hear about that. Now, let me come back to the news, as I say. So, South Africa, they've done something fantastic. So this week, so they have given the green light to the green hydrogen commercialization. So you had the minister, I think she's called Kubuzo Chaveni. So my apologies if the name is not well pronounced. Yeah, but I'm doing my best, right, to make sure that I can always get African names right. So they have approved the strategy for green hydrogen commercialization. But it's important to say that the Hydrogen South Africa strategy was already approved initially in the cabinet in 2007. I think it was Zuma was still president at the time. But as you know, such big policy, it takes time to mature and to come to fruition, right? So it was approved initially in 2007. And then in 2021, so the strategy was actually included in a framework which is called the Hydrogen Society Roadmap, right? Which was developed by the Department for Science and also Innovation. And now that's one step going forward, right? And they say that they want to start commercializing and working towards it. And one thing that's important to say that they've been attracting $1 billion for that. Yeah. Oh no, sorry. They're looking to attract $1 billion. Yeah, that is what they're saying. I then start asking myself, okay, how could they be doing that? Because yes, South Africa is stepping forward, but other countries in Africa are also thinking about having a hydrogen economy that they're developing. Yeah, and also countries also beyond Africa, right? So I wanted to have a look at that. Important to say that the hydrogen economy, in terms of South Africa, what is forecast to do is to add 3.6% of the GDP to the country. That's fantastic. By 2050, that's what they say, and approximately 370,000 jobs, right? So we're talking about something quite significant here that can bring a lot of good news and a lot of benefit for the country. So that's why it's worth to maybe ask ourselves, so what could be the avenue for for funding for that, because most of the time, uh, policy like that, it always also depend on how much money we can allocate to that. I just wanted to have that reflection with you and share with you some ideas where I believe the money should be coming from, because they say that they expecting to attract $1 billion. So how can you get to $1 billion? And the reason we do that, because even for other countries, if they embark into this journey, which I'm sure they will, so where could the money be coming from? And I'm also saying that because if it happens that you one of those group of people we have identified, how can you help to make sure that we can accelerate that? Yeah, are we cool? Excellent. As usual, if you have any questions, just drop it in the comment sections. I'll be looking at that, and I can respond to that. Yeah, excellent. So I want to look at those avenues, yeah, in terms of funding, and this is what we can be doing. So the first source of funding that I could see here, it's let me start by the government funding, the grant. Hey, they have announced that they validating this policy. I'm hoping that at least they should put some money behind it, yeah, and I'm sure they will. Otherwise, what's the point, yeah? And in case there's some government that's just throwing, policy like that, out there for people to notice, but not backing it up with money, they're not serious. Let's just say that correctly, yeah. But I don't think that would be the case of the South African government, yeah. So clearly, what I'm expecting to see the next coming, weeks, probably month, yeah, it's an exploration of government initiative, subsidies, grant that would be made available for green hydrogen project, right? Because the government in this case, and that's the case for usually any major um, renewables energy or like sustainability policy, it requires support from the government. So South African government would play for me a pivotal role here, offering various funding options and grant to kickstart hydrogen project, that's aiming to position the country as a global leader. So in this clean energy frontier market, which is the ambition, right? So that's what I say. That's what we should be saying. I don't know. Do you think the same thing as me, or do you think maybe what I'm thinking is a little bit too ambitious, delusional? Oh, sorry. There's another sound here. Yeah. Okay. I'm back here. So just let me know what you think. But I personally believe that this is what we should be seeing. So the government taking part. But beside government, so I'm also expecting to see a lot more private sector taking part of it, right? Because they say, remember, and listen to the word that the government is saying, they're expecting to attract. When people talk about attract, right? So that means they're looking for they turn their eye towards other people as well, right? To play their role. And here I'm thinking about the private equity or venture capital, right? So how can they be investing in those green hydrogen startup and project that will have backing of the government that should help them to hopefully, de-risk the project. Especially usually what happens is those developers, when they have a grant and subsidy from government, they use that, right, to de-risk to the maximum of the project at the beginning, so that these guys afterward, those private investors, can come and plug in their money, right? So the risky money usually the government one. That's why I think government should be the first, right? So, and we know private investment in Africa is surging, right? You have a lot more equity firms, venture capitalists. They're eager to tap into the green hydrogen market, especially because that here there is a big potential. We want to be replacing fossil fuel. At the same time, we want a source of energy we know will be able to drive heavy industries, right? Because as you say, yes, solar and wind, we can use that and they contribute for sure. But it's also fair to say that something like hydrogen can also heavily, massively help in this regard. Yeah. So and private sector, I'm sure they will be very interested. And I'm saying that because in a few days you will see. So I have an interview with one of the main player into the market. Talking about the hydrogen project. So you definitely want to talk about that. So I know what I'm talking about. And I can tell you that big guys, serious guys are looking into that. So private sector, I'm hoping that they'll be able to provide crucial capital for innovative startups and that have transformative project. Yeah. So once I've talked about the government, once I talk about the private equity and also venture capitalists, yeah. So who else do we see? So if you have an idea, just let me know. So put in the comment section. I want to see what you're thinking. So who do you think should be obviously coming to plug the gap in terms of bringing the funding that is needed for hydrogen projects? Yeah. So let me continue, right? So I don't want to make it too difficult for you. So the international community, yeah. So international funding, loan, yeah, the DFI, so this kind of guy, we need that, yeah. So we need a range of international loans, funding options, that would be helpful. We talked about the development banks, yeah, African Development Bank for sure, but also all the other big guys, the BII, British Investment, what was it? British International Investment, ex CDC, or the like Proparco, the KFW of this world, the GFC, so on and so forth. This guy, I think they can also help here. So they should step up, offering, let's say, advantageous loans, but also support funding, to help in this project, showcasing the global commitment in advancing green hydrogen, especially in South Africa, because for countries like South Africa depend so much on coal. Let's be honest and realistic as well. If you want to displace coal, you need as well something that can replace it. Gas plays a role, I agree, but hydrogen as well. It's one of these things, yeah. Especially hydrogen. So the technology per se, it's relatively well known. What we're gonna be decarbonizing here, most of it is the way we produce this hydrogen. We want to do that with renewable energy. Yeah, that's why we turn it the gray into green. Yeah, that's what I do. So I've talked about the government. I've talked about the private sector, the PE firm, but also the VC. And I've talked about the DFI, so international community. So who could be the fourth? So would you have a guess? So fourth here. So I'm looking at a framework that is well known in other big infrastructure projects that we can adapt in here as well. So I'm talking about PPP. So do people know what PPP stands for? I'm sure you do, right? So you're a very clever audience. Yeah, you know. So we're talking about here the public-private partnership. Yeah. So what they usually here for is to facilitate those large-scale infrastructure projects, and here they can definitely play a role for those large-scale hydrogen projects. Bringing together government support, but also private investment working hand in hand. Yeah. So they have become, let's say, a major platform that's been used in major infrastructure project before, and it can benefit hydrogen, creating the synergies with government backing and private sector dynamism to drive the sector forward. So I'm seeing here a big role that they should be playing as well. So, and I'm hoping that they will seize that with pleasure. Yeah. So that is, that's what we see, because I was talking to, as I say, just this week. I mean, you guys will see that in a few days. The conversation I was having with the manager director of this big company, and they are at the moment, as we're speaking, running a pilot project, and the pilot project is already megawatt size. I thought it was relatively big for pilot project. When I asked him the question, he simply said to me, "Oh, it's because when we're looking at the amount of power, the energy demand that's hydrogen needs to plug, the gap needs to be plugged. So it's quite, considerable, yeah. And that means if you gotta be looking at a pilot project to be representative of what we yet to see, so it needs to be big enough at the beginning, so that it gets closer to what we're going to have in final stage. So clearly those PPP could be quite large. So let me talk about the last one, right? Because I talked about, if you remember, I talked about first of all the government support. So government loans and subsidies. Then I talk about the private investors, private equity, and also venture capitalists. I talked about the DFIs, development banks, their role to play to that. We just covered as well the PPP, public-private partnerships. So the fifth one, can somebody guess? Yeah. By the way, they're more than just five, right? I'm just gonna keep it down to 5 because otherwise we can spend the whole day here. So the fifth one that I want to talk to you about, and I'm sure you wouldn't be surprised hearing me saying that because I've been talking about this topic, for weeks and weeks now, and I'm gonna still talking about that for weeks and weeks to go. I'm talking about sustainable finance, anything carbon finance, green bonds, yeah. So looking at how we can be tapping into that because the whole objective of those alternative type of financing is effectively to finance, initiative or new projects, a new type of project, just like the one we talked about, those green hydrogen projects. Yeah. So that is the road here. I'm looking at anything, carbon finance, the green bonds. Very good. Yeah. So those are sustainable finance instruments that are emerging. So they're showing how powerful they could be. So what they do, they channeling capital, towards, infrastructure project. In this case here, green project, that could be green hydrogen project. And the idea is to ensure a long-term sustainability. So I can see here clearly a role that they could be playing. Yeah. So that those are the five that five type of funding that I see. Yeah. So if somebody was asking, for example, to me, okay, those projects gonna, where can South Africa eventually find the 1 billion that they've announced? So here they are. So repeat, government, yeah, subsidy, they want to have it, a private equity VC. Then what we want to have in third, international community. Talk about the DFIs. Then in fourth, we talk about the private public partnership (PPP). In number five, so we're talking about alternative financing, so carbon finance, green bonds. That's what it is. Yeah. So hopefully it's very clear. So it gives you an idea what we have in here. So I don't know if any of you has any questions. Otherwise, I can see there is a young gentleman. Okay. I don't know how young he is, but he's called Young, right? So let's say it's young, and you look young on the picture. So I have Ed Young. So Ed, I could see that you already sent me your email, so that's fine. Great, appreciate that. So, but is there any question that you have? So anything that you want, or you want just want to contact you guys? So if you can tell us, for example, what is that you doing? If you're still around, so more than happy to respond to a question if there is. Otherwise, we're just gonna call it a day. Yeah. So that is what we want to do. So Ed, but thank you for connecting, by the way. We always appreciate that. We're always grateful for people that are joining and contributing, and other people that's going to watch that on the replay. What I want to say to you is please, 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 share the video that people that you know, and then comment on it. So give us your feedback, tell us what you think, and very, very happy to go back and respond afterwards. But let me just finish and say again, congratulations to South Africa. But guess what? That was only the semi-final. So I think the biggest guy is at the final, right? Where you're gonna meet obviously the apparently the best in history. We used to say, or the best nation in history for rugby, as far as I know, right? But South Africa now has the chance to make it better. Yeah. So let's see. Yeah, playing the All Blacks is gonna be something else, but they can do it. They've proven it already. So all I had to say for today. So very grateful for you guys, supporting us. And don't forget, tomorrow we're coming back, one day, one concept. And guess what? Also this week we will. Oh, I can see I have. It's all the same thing. Whenever I'm about to go, somebody come. So I have Lawrence Oladeji. Thank you for sharing your opinion, Lawrence. It's my pleasure. So my question: what is your opinion for you? So that is also what I want to see. So I have as well somebody saying, guys, where were you before? It's almost like when I'm saying I'm going, that you guys coming. But I appreciate that, by the way. So I have Gambi Hamadi, who said that Namibia is one. Oh, absolutely. Namibia is becoming a champion in hydrogen. And I think Namibia is playing such a brilliant game, So very smart for a small nation. I'm to a small population, but not size. So for a small nation, I think they position themselves extremely well, right? And then I've been watching them, be talking to some key people over there, and yeah, they're playing a very, very good game. I'm impressed by what they do, and I wish them well, right? So, and I think they're on the right path. So Gambi, I don't know, are you from Namibia? So that'd be good. But yeah, they're playing great games. So yeah, so unless there is any other last minute question again, because We had Ed reacting, Lawrence reacting, Gambi reacting. That's great. Other people I'm sure watching us and probably will be. Yeah, by the way, if you want to just tell me, what country you're coming from, because it's sometimes for me good to see where people are coming from, just to see the range of opinion. And yeah, so and I have a Gambi. Okay, Gambi is from Mali. Okay. I thought for a second, Gambi, that you were from Namibia. Okay, that's great, excellent. Do you know if there is any hydrogen project in Mali, Gambi? So that would be that'd be good to know. But can you see how informed our audience is, right? So excellent. That's brilliant. That's excellent, guys. So yeah, I'm just gonna call it a day now. So nothing else is gonna add. So for the people that reacted, thank you very much for sharing. So it's the reason I'm in front of you today, as because I know there's always people that are hungry for the information, hungry to learn, and there are also other people that are making use of this knowledge, yeah, for it to go forward. So Gambi is saying to me, yeah, we are working on it at the moment. Excellent. So okay, so be good to know. Gambi, because let me tell you one thing. So one of the things that we keen on doing as well, it's as much as possible bring some of you on camera so you can come and tell us your experience of what you're seeing and doing on the ground, on the field, and you can share your opinion, share also your challenges, and it help us to get a better view, a balanced view. So I definitely call up on you. So if some of you are experts in subject matter, any subject matter, so you think that it's worth a discussion, so reach out to me, tell me about the topic. If it makes sense and if it's great, we'll be more than happy. Yeah. So Gambi here, there's always one that's very, 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 you know, proactive. Gambi is sending me Petroma. Okay, excellent. Hydrogène naturel. Okay, no problem. Hydrogène naturel. Qu'est-ce que c'est ça? Okay, that's great. Gambi, excellent. We will take a look at that. So, as I say, if there was any, somebody has pinned a message. Was that? Oh yeah, it was Gambi. Okay, so excellent. Just like Gambi has done, if there's some information that you want to share, make sure that you drop it in the comments. Something that you want to say, drop it there. That's fine. I know somebody has sent me an email address. That's fine, but it's better for me if you can tell me, or maybe if you don't want to say that in public, so hit me up, on direct message and tell me how I can help. So is there anything you want to talk about? That's fine. By the way, how could I finish without talking about that, right? I know a lot of companies would be operating in the sector, have interesting products, interesting services, and would like, a broader audience to get to know about what they do. So definitely do reach out to us, right? So, because as I say, best known beats the best, right? I think it's no use you having a great product, great service, if we're not able to share that with the industry, share that with the audience, share that with your ideal customer who could then say, this is exactly the solution I was looking for, and I need to reach out to that person. Yeah. And guess what? We are here to help you, create that connection and make it happen. So if there's people out there, whether you're a project developer, whether you're an investor, whether you're a contractor, EPC, and you say, hey, Tony, you gotta be talking about us. And we want to make sure that, people know about the fantastic job that we're doing. Guess what? Call me, reach out to me, and we can talk about that and we can see what could be done. Is that okay? Excellent. Guys, pleasure. So that's my time now to go. And I wish you a fantastic rest of your day. So, yeah, hydrogen definitely is something that is moving forward in the industry, so in the continent, and I'm sure we're going to hear more and more about those projects. Thank you, guys. You have a fantastic Sunday. Take care. Bye and don't forget, one day, one concept for the week, and also other videos. Take care. Bye.